Hello and welcome to Metro Publishers video training. Today I'm going to show you how to use the theme editor to customize the look and feel of your Metro Publisher site. You probably noticed when you saw your Metro Publisher site for the first time, it looks something like what you see on the screen here. Basically, when we create a new account, we set you up with some sample content, which is what you see here, and one of the default templates. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to change that. Now, this is primarily the workflow for standard users, but you pro users also have access to the theme editor, so this is relevant for you as well. So for pros, the common workflow is to get started customizing your site with the theme editor, then switch to the CSS editor to make further, more advanced changes. For more information about editing the CSS for your site, pro users can find a video explaining how it works under the CSS tab up above. Okay, so let's get started. When you click on Design from the top navigation, you will end up within the theme editor here. And what you see is a preview of your site with some default data. And from here, we will make changes to the look and feel. At the top, you can see there are three tabs: Change Theme, Refine Colors, and Refine Text. And those are roughly the three main things that you do. As a new client, you'll already have a standard theme selected, and that is what we're looking at on this screen. These little yellow pencil icons will open pop-ups where you can refine various elements within the page. For example, this one here in the corner lets you change the background. So I'm going to change the background to blue, then I'll hit save, and you can see that the background is now blue. On the bottom, here are four other options. The save button on the left will save whatever changes you've made. I just changed the background color, so I'm going to hit save as an example. If I go to the live site, you can see nothing has changed, even though I hit save. And that's because until you click the publish button here, all of your changes are stored only within this theme editor. So in other words, you can play around with the look and feel of your site until you're ready to publish it. Your readers won't see it on the live site until you click publish. So be very careful about when you decide to publish your design changes. Now, if you make a bunch of changes, but you don't really like them, you can use this revert button to revert your changes to what is on the live site. Then you can start over. So for example, I don't like this blue color and I want to start over. I can just hit revert, and now the template looks just like the live site again. And finally, there is this button that's labeled Live Preview. This option is a little bit special. What you're looking at here is a preview of your changes, but it's not using the live database of your website. This is default content, and it's an approximation of your site. Also, it's displaying in this window, which is much smaller than how it would normally be viewed in a browser. So before you publish your changes, it's a good idea to use the live preview to see how it looks on your live site. So if I click it now, my changes will save and a new tab will open with the preview. You can see there's a strip at the top, so you can clearly differentiate that this is a preview and not the live site. You can click around, and furthermore, you can preview how this will look on different screen sizes. For example, how will this look on an iPhone? Or you can rotate it to the horizontal position. Or how might it look on a Google Nexus One, which is a larger screen size than the iPhone? So let's go back to the theme editor, and I'll show you how to make all these changes on a real example. So say I want a different theme. I'm going to click Change Theme, and here you'll find several different themes. I can select this one and see how it looks. It's got kind of a boxed look. Or this one, it has rounded edges and all the containers. I happen to like the clean one, so I'm going to select that one. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is upload my logo to the header. To do that, I click on the icon in the header right here. There are several options. The first is for the logo that will appear in the header on a desktop computer. I made a cool header for this with some illustration that will span the whole width of the header, so I'm going to upload that. Now there's an option to add a logo that's optimized for responsive design. And what that means is that you can put a different logo that will look better on smaller devices. The logo for the header I created is quite long horizontally, so I'm going to add one that's more compact. The next option is called a favicon. And this is a 16 by 16 icon that appears in various places within the browser, such as the tabs up above. And I'm going to add that as well. And finally, here you should add a square version of your logo that is at least 150 by 150 pixels in size. This is what will show up on various social media when your users share your content. if there are no other images on the article itself. So if you have an article with no images and a user shares that content on Facebook, the square logo will appear. Otherwise, Facebook will select a random image from the page or leave it blank.
Refine some of the colors. Now that I've uploaded the logo, you can see that I really need to change the colors. So the first thing I want to change is this green on the navigation, and you can also see it on the other headers. So I'll click the icon on the navigation. Each theme is a little different, but on this one there's an option for the navigation and sprocket title bars, link buttons, and some others. And you can see that this green color I want to change. It's right here. I can use the color wheel to pick a blue and adjust the luminance. In this case, I know exactly what color I need, so I'm going to paste in the hex number for the color right here. Now I'll hit save. Okay, this is getting better. But there's so much blue everywhere, I'd like to integrate a bit of the orange from my logo as an action color. So let's click on the edit icon again. And below we can see an option for links and buttons. I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to pick a nice orange color.
Now that looks better. But I don't like the gray background, so I'm going to click on this edit icon in the corner over the background, and I'm going to change that to a nice light blue. Now that looks great. The last thing I want to do is modify the text a bit. My logo uses a form of Helvetica, which is a sans serif font, and I'd like to get something close to that. So I'm going to click on the tab above that says Refine Text. There are a few options. So first I'll click on this icon here on the navigation. I now have the option for the font styles for the main navigation. I'm going to select Helvetica. I'm fine with the size and the style, so I'll leave those as they are. Okay, looking good. If you'd like to use custom fonts, we now have a nice integration with an Adobe service called Typekit that allows you to use custom web fonts. The way it works is that if you have a Typekit account, you can insert the account ID below, and the custom fonts you have will show up right there in these pull downs. If you'd like to know more about that, go to third-party section and look for Typekit, and there's a video there that explains how that works. So back to editing our page. I want to make the text headers a little different, so I'm going to select Trebuchet, and I also want to make them a little bit bigger, so I'm going to pick about 110%. Now this will affect the text headers throughout your site, so check how it looks before you publish. Finally, for the body text, I'm going to also make it Helvetica, but I'm going to increase the size a little bit to about 110%, so it's easier for my readers. Okay, that's looking pretty good. The text is nice and legible. The colors look good with my logo, so I'm going to save my changes. Now let's preview our changes on the live site. Okay, looks good. How's it on an iPhone? Not bad. Great. Now let's publish it. So I can close this preview tab. Then we go back to the theme editor and click Publish. Now wait just a few minutes for the cache to clear. Then you can go and reload your live site. And there it is. All your changes are now live. Now you know how this process works, and I think you have the tools you need to get started. But just to show you how radically different you can make your site with just a couple of minutes and only a few changes, I'm going to do a quick demo of how you could change this family site into a golf site that looks completely different. So let's go back to the theme editor and change the theme. I like this rounded corner one here, so I'm going to select that. Then I'm going to go add a new logo. Here's my golf logo. I won't worry about the other versions for the purposes of this demo. Hit save. Now modify the colors. First, the navigation bar to a nice blue that gets along with my logo. That looks good. But I don't like the link color. So I'm going to change this burnt orange to a nicer green. Okay, that's good. Let's add a cool background tile. I like this grass tile. By the way, you can add your own tiles here as well. Wow, what a change the background makes to the overall look and feel. Okay, let's save and check the live preview. Well, All right. I like it. It looks good on mobile as well. So there you have it. Just a few minutes and some well-placed changes to alter the site dramatically. And now we have a golf magazine.